Alright. What other statue should they make? Yeah, they definitely do not have enough Magnetos. They should make another custom Magneto. Smart. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we're giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X, and today we're reviewing yet another custom Magneto statue. And if you're new to the channel, I say that with some sarcasm interlaced because I've owned probably about 20 different custom Magneto statues. I still have a few to this day. I've sold off quite a few. You can see one of them in the dark behind this guy, way up over there on the corner. XM Studios white one over there, and I still have two other customs. But I just got in this quarter scale custom Magneto statue that has a tribute to Jim Lee. Now this is a very, very cool piece. The reason why I got him is I sold off all of my normal 1/4 scale Magneto statues. Or so I thought. At one time I was actually going to sell these two pieces right here, but I ended up keeping them. So when I ordered him a while back, I thought I needed a replacement because I really like what they did on this. Even though it's nothing new, I think they combined a lot of things that have been done before, took their own twist on it, and it really shows the power and of course some tributes to Jim Lee, like I said. As I said, this is a custom. It means it was a private unlicensed commission. This is really rare. They only made 30 of these. And this particular custom group actually has another Magneto statue you've probably seen before if you're in the statue world, is this giant custom on throne. And yes, that is being delivered here to the Extreme channel, hopefully sometime this month. And depending on when this launches, you may have already seen it. But today we're going to review this guy. He has 6 portraits, 2 different torsos, and tons of cool stuff going on the base. So let's kick it off with concept. Now with Magneto, you really want to encompass 2 things. To show his mutant abilities, you want to show him flying and manipulating metal. I think they did both on this. So here you have a base. We have no idea what it used to be, but it was some type of metallic structure. And he has ripped it to shreds. I really like what they did here. They took their own concept, and while people have done this before, they took it to the next level. You have rebar and iron beams and rods and metallic pieces and rivets and spikes and cables flying everywhere. You can really tell that Erik Lehnsherr used his magnetic abilities to tear this base apart. I think it's very, very cool. I like how it opens up, giving him the attention to be the centerpiece. There is a small flying effect. With Magneto, as you guys know, that's very hard to do without creating a leaning issue down the road. So they do have his feet placed on these wrought iron, but it is elevated, so you kind of get that flying effect, especially with his cape in the back there, flowing. Assumably, the magnetic field is all around him. He has his traditional red and purple costume. And as with most Magnetos, he's pretty ripped. He's not overly ripped. He's almost overly ripped, I want to say, but we'll talk more about the anatomy during paint and sculpt. And as you move up, this particular torso, he's actually reaching out, so I like when he does that because it really shows he's using that magnetic power. And the portrait I have on right now, he is screaming, just to show that rage and that power of what Magneto can do. And of course, there's tons of switch outs we're going to talk about in design. But I like it. It's not overly unique. I think they did some things other people haven't done, especially with the base. I like that they incorporated the flying concept. And if you're looking for a good, solid Magneto statue, I think this is a 4 out of 5 on the concept. It's not boring, but it's not incredibly elaborate. Design, there were some issues. Not only with some breakages, thankfully they're all easy to fix, but the assembly is not easy. So let's start with that. 2 very large boxes, which is often expected with Magneto because of the cape. First box had the base inside of it, and unfortunately I did have a break. It's a pretty clean break. You can see it right here at the top. And I'll show you how I repaired that. Second box did have a pretty cool art box, both on the sides of it and the top, as you can see here. And it had 2 layers of the custom black foam. First layer had a bunch of the portraits and the legs. And the second layer had the cape and the 2 torsos. There was also a big breakage on the cape. Kind of a triangle section was cut out, broken off. It was a clean break other than that little hole, so Mrs. X can fix that. Now I'm not going to show you the assembly of this, but there was about 13 pieces right here that had to go into the base. This was such a pain in the ass. Here it is completed, but took a long, long time. right, then I already repaired the piece in the back here that was broken. There's a small seam line where I repaired it, but you can barely tell. Mrs. X is still going to repair the cape. I still have the missing piece for that. And a few of these items that you saw that needed to be inserted we talked about, some of them could be in the wrong place, and they seem to be staying, so I'm not too worried about it. It'll be interesting when I move it. I'm not sure if I'm going to move it back to where that white Magneto is back there, or if I'm going to move it over there where I'm having a Magneto display. Also during assembly, you saw me have some trouble simply because the temperatures, it's actually a blizzard going on right now while I'm filming this, and everything fit perfect. So here are the different display options. First, you have two torsos. One is the torso we've been looking at, and this is definitely my favorite. I'm probably going to put the other one back in the box. I don't really think it was needed. But with this torso, you have three portraits. Each torso has specific portraits for that torso. First one is the unhelmeted screaming version. Then you have a helmeted version right here where his teeth are gridded. I like that one as well. And we'll look at these during paint and sculpt. And then you have the screaming helmeted version. And as you can see, the eyes here do have a light up feature. Now the other torso has his hands down, also a cool position of power. You have a helmeted version with just kind of a stern look. Without the helmet, you have a gritted teeth version, and I like that it's different on each one. And then the stern look without the helmet. So this is probably my go-to choice right now. And as far as a personal collector, I think they only needed to offer this torso. I don't think I'll ever use the other one. When you think about satisfying different customers, it's great that they had both options. So let's get the dimensions on him. The base was bigger than I thought it would be. It's always bigger than I thought it would be.
Hey, that's what she said.
The widest point up here is probably about 21 inches. The bottom part, it's only 10.5 or 11. I'm betting the depth is about the same. Maybe 19 inches. And the tallest part, you are over 24 inches, probably just under 25 inches. So overall with the design, all these things sticking out were a pain in the ass, but I like that they did it. It's one of the things that I feel like shows his power more. He's shredding it more. Breakages, I really can't fault the statue too much. However, that is an issue, so you have to consider that. I think the different display options are fantastic. So I think due to the difficulty of assembly and the breakages, it's a 3 out of 5, which is still okay, but it's not overly elaborate. I would have liked to see him levitate a little bit more. I think it also would have been cool, although it would have raised the shipping quite a bit, if there was a separate cape or a separate torso display. I think that would have been fantastic. Paint and sculpt. You know, when you get to Magneto, I've seen so many of them. There's not really a lot of new stuff you can do because you don't want to vary too much from it. You know, like I said, they've done that white Magneto. XM Studios did that right here. And then I had one of my custom Magnetos actually painted black, which I no longer own, this one right here, just to vary it up a little bit. I think this one would look fantastic black, so I may consider doing that. That was a short run with Magneto. I think I just sold myself on that, actually. But despite that, the paint that's done here is actually pretty good. Check it out. All right, let's look at some of these portraits, and some of them are going to share the same attributes, so we won't cover it too many times. But I like the helmet. I do like a shine on my Magneto helmets. Not too much, so I don't like it dull, but it's not overly bright. I think they did a nice job. Everywhere you're going to see on this statue, the paint is incredibly clean. Portrait looks great. I like the skin color they chose. You can kind of see the age in his eyes. Look fantastic. His eyes are decals, but they're well done. Great, just great layering on the skin. The eyebrows, very bushy, traditional Magneto style. Here's one of the unmasked portraits. Again, I think they aged him perfect. Love the big chin. The hair looks fantastic on all of them. I think they chose the absolute best color. I like how the strands are kind of bunched together, but it flows really, really well. Teeth are done really well. They're a little too white, but that's probably normal. I like the separation in them, the gum line. And you can see that on this guy right here as well. Perfect set of teeth. He probably used his magnetic power for the braces. But yeah, the portraits look great. They did a really nice job. So we'll start at the top here, actually, starting with the cape. I love the kind of the seam lines in the cape that they have. That's not something you always see. Like insinuates it's a real cape. As expected, I think the purple color isn't too bright. You know, you do see the brightness on the collar around it, and you'll also see that on like some of his wrist gauntlets. And they added the shading into the folds, which typically happens as well. But I like the presence of it, how much it billows out, looks pretty cool. And again, then you have a shiny neck collar here, which is typical. There is a little bit of wear in it, which I think is a nice added touch. His uniform, even underneath, this purple is a different contrasting color that works well. You can see the folds and the seams in there. Then his anatomy, you know, like right here, the abdominals, he's overly muscularized, which all Magneto statues are. I like the color. It's a little bit of a darker red. In the camera here, the color is really, or the lights are really making it shine. But again, really clean with the paint. Gloves, even a different purple color. And there's some tiny folds in there to really show you that they're gloves. See the padding on there? Looks really nice. He's got his underwear on the outside because he's a superhero and that's what they do. See those tiny creases right around the seams? I like that they didn't texturize him too much. Some Magneto statues, the entire red part suit is texturized. Here you just have the inner thighs. And it's a much darker color with a lot more black shading. And as expected, there's a lot of black shading within the seams of the suit, as well as the indentions of the muscles. I think the thighs and the leg muscles look nice. They are over-muscularized, but not as bad as up here. But like I said, that's kind of typical on every Magneto statue. Boots look great. Again, you can tell it's fully sculpted, but they were able to sculpt it like where it looks like it's not. Same with the shin guards or whatever they call them on there. The base, while there's a monotony of these same colors, they did add some yellow and brown highlights to help mix it up. If you're in a dark area, you won't see that, but here you can kind of see the contrast. Like I said, he has really ripped this to shreds, and it looks great. There's tons of detail in here. I really like this base. Just the metal stacked upon metal. Some rivets in the bottom part of the base here. It's almost like a museum base that they incorporated into the statue, which I really like. But yeah, I think they did a great job with both the paint and sculpt of the base here. Really like that. So overall, I think pretty impressive. All right, so the abdominal muscles, like I said, I hate when they do that with Magneto. Everyone seems to give him huge biceps, huge triceps. I mean, shoulders. My God, this guy must be able to shoulder press. Which always cracked me up that he's in such good fitness because he doesn't have to lift anything. He just uses his power to do that. But it's still done well. So I think regarding the sculpt on this piece, I think the sculpt is probably a 4 out of 5. I'm definitely impressed with it. I like the different portrait options. Paint is very clean on this, which is, you know, you'd expect that with only 30 pieces. I like everything they did. They didn't go overboard on a lot of things. And I think the detail in the portraits we looked at is pretty incredible. So I give the paint a 5 out of 5 on this. Really, really impressed. Now we're going to talk about value. And this is a tough one because there are so many Magneto statues. There's so many custom Magneto statues. So as I said, they ended up making 30 of these. And it was $1,250, which is very high for a 1/4 scale piece. However, remember, you get 2 torsos and 6 portraits. And it is a pretty large piece. Then you got to throw in shipping. Shipping was another, I think, $350 or so. So you're in a lot for this statue. You're in $1,600 for a custom Magneto statue. I definitely think I could get my money back on this because it's pretty well done. However, like I said, I think I'm going to keep it and paint it. Not me. Have my wife paint it. Yeah, my wife does that shit. Like this video right here. So while I think I could get my money back, I think that's probably it due to the high demand for Magneto statues. I think the value is probably a 3 out of 5 as it sits. Now, does this have the X factor? This isn't my favorite Magneto statue. I still like it a lot. But I like, and like I said, what I like about this is it's not going over the top, trying to be overly impressive. It's showing Magneto as he is. I think this would look fantastic with other X-Men statues. Almost any X-Men display this would work with. I think this is a 4 out of 5 statue. I really, really do like it. So stoked I have it. To me, it's kind of the normal Magneto that I have, despite the fact that you could say I have other ones like that. But it's my own rules, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. Let me know, where does this guy rank with you? And I ask you to comment, because I'm really curious on other people's opinions. I read every single comment, but that could enter you into a statue giveaway. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Thanks guys, really appreciate it. Please, please, please drop me a like. It really, really helps the channel. Check out some of these other videos. But in the meantime, got a lot of cool stuff coming up, so make sure you've subscribed to the channel. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.